Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us this session on KNOX SDK. I'm Karthik Balakrishnan, working on KNOX platform last 4 years. I've been leading the KNOX MDM framework design and development. Today, we are going to talk briefly about the KNOX SDK and what features we offer as part of KNOX SDK. So, when you see, like, when it comes to an enterprise business, like, what they really, there are a lot of requirements from the enterprise customers, like what they expect from mobile platform. Like, if you see in Samsung perspective, these are the high-level requirements that we need to address as part of mobile platform to succeed in the enterprise business. To go over the high-level requirements, like what we need in the mobile platform is a secure platform. We need to have a high data security, and we need to support KNOX enabling features. Also, we need to have rich set of APIs wherein IT admin can control remotely the device management. And even though we provide all this security and features, most high secure concern enterprises, they need to have some compliance. Like when we provide a security platform, we need to have some compliance, industry compliance or a government compliance. So let's how we address all these requirements as part of our KNOX platform. Let's to give you a high-level overview how we address all these requirements from the enterprise customers. Actually, we build on top of core Android platform, wherein we add more secure on top of the Android platform. Like down the layer, speaking to that, like there are so many layers runs in the mobile device. It could be from the bootloader up to the application layer. So in Samsung KNOX platform, we have in each layer a security tied up. Like if you go through the picture, like we have security built into from hardware to the application layer. To the hardware, we have a trust zone, wherein we have a lot of features built on top of trust zone. To secure the bootloaders and kernels, we have a trusted boot feature, wherein at any time, IT admin can query the authenticity of the software that runs on the Samsung KNOX devices. Also, we provide TEMA, like the TEMA features, wherein you have a lot of security features which we provide with trust zone-based solutions. Coming to the platform like OS security, we provide SE Android, wherein we have so many policies built into the system, wherein we provide a high-level security on the platform layer as well. On top of that, we do have a platform which builds on top of the Android framework. We build a KNOX Android framework, wherein it provides security in the application layer or in the services. We provide security in each level of the platform framework. Also, we do support KNOX container, wherein the application layer, like today, when it comes to data leakage, like wherein in certain devices you will have both corporate data as well as the personal data. So we provide KNOX Workspace, wherein we secure the data application layer as well. Speaking to that, Samsung platform provides comprehensive security enhancements and management, and our platform has gone through a lot of certifications. Like we are FLIPS compliant, and we did receive common criteria mode certifications and DoD certifications. Let's go overview about like what we do offer as part of our KNOX SDK. We provide two set of APIs, like which is premium APIs, where it is more secured features that are available as part of our KNOX premium APIs. We do support APIs for the application level, like standard APIs, wherein IT admin can manage applications or the configurations and device management. So going over the KNOX premium APIs, we have a lot of very competitive features, like wherein we secure the platform from the kernel to the application layer. Like let's go through few key features that we offer as part of KNOX platform. We support attestations, wherein it just monitors the device firmware, like from the bootloader to the kernel, wherein it monitors the changes. If there is any tampering, then the system detects, and IT admin can query with attestation, and they can come to know like what is the authenticity of the software that runs on the SAM's KNOX devices. We do offer like a lot of team of features wherein the lot of like the certificate management, everything is tied up to the hardware level security, wherein it is secured with device unique certificate that comes with the manufacturing. We do support other features in premium like VPN, generic VPN, and we support like a lot of features towards smart card and certificate management. There are some sessions after this session and tomorrow where you will get more details about some of the premium features. I will provide the details so that you can take advantage and learn like what that features can offer for the app developers. Coming to the KNOX standard features, we do have a rich set of APIs wherein an IT admin can configure. It could be an app management or a account configurations, or like we do support like single sign-on wherein like we support Active Directory based SSO solutions as well. Most of you are already aware like from Jelly Bean, Google supported multi-user mode wherein from tablets you can create a guest users. Today our KNOX platform does support these APIs wherein IT admin can manage the guest users as well. There are few features which is applicable the device wide. There are some features like app management which is applicable per user. Today our KNOX platform will support you to manage each user basis as well. In future slides, let's go through some of the key features that we offer as part of KNOX platform. Today, like in most cases, like when it comes to one of the key features that we offer as part of KNOX platform is the KNOX Workspace. There are so many cases today, like a lot of folks carry two devices, one for the work and one for the personal use. The reason behind it, like enterprises are concerned about running the personal apps and the corporate apps in the same device, which may lead to the data leakage. As part of KNOX platform, we provide a solution which is like KNOX Workspace, wherein we create a virtual runtime environment which has its own home screen or applications and widgets, wherein it like you feel like it's a separate device, virtual device running within the Samsung devices. The KNOX Workspace is it's a strong isolated runtime environment wherein the enterprise application can run within it. Like the KNOX Workspace, actually it's backed by our KNOX hardware security features schema, wherein it's secured. For instance, like if the device being tampered, then the KNOX Workspace will be locked down so that nobody will have access to it, data or it's to the apps. So we lock the KNOX Workspace. There is no way that anybody can get the data from the device. The KNOX Workspace is like how we provide strong data isolation between the corporate apps and the personal apps using SE Android and multi-user framework which Google introduced. We use these two technologies to provide a strong isolation between the corporate apps and the personal apps. When it comes to KNOX Workspace, the entire file system is encrypted with eCryptFS, and there are a lot of UI options that we provide with the KNOX Workspace. It could be a launcher wherein it's a full-fledged virtual environment where it has its own home screen and applications. We do support folder-based container, like wherein the folder will be available as part of the normal personal home screen, but when you launch the folder, you will have access to the KNOX Workspace apps. We do support other very feature from KNOX, like in S5 and Node 3 and Node 4 devices is the COM container, which is a container-only mode, wherein like device boots up in the container. User will not have access to the personal, like the main user space. The device boots automatically in the container mode. And as part of KNOX SDK, we provide comprehensive APIs and APIs to manage the container, wherein the IT admin will have full control over the KNOX Workspace. When you come to like the other feature we support is the data sharing for the KNOX Workspace. When it comes to like, since we are giving an option to have both the workspace available in a single device, there are instances to increase the user productivity. You may need to give certain access from personal space to the KNOX Workspace. As part of that, like in KNOX platform, we do support data sharing, wherein IT admin has full control over it. He can manage how these sharing should be. Like for example, as shown in the picture, we allow syncing the calendar and contacts events, wherein when you are in personal space, you need to know like if there is an event happening in the workspace, then we allow syncing the calendar and contacts events between the KNOX workspace and the personal space. We do support moving certain files like contacts and files from KNOX, from the personal space to KNOX workspace. And also we support wherein like user will be allowed to install application from the personal space. All these features is fully controlled by the IT admin. As per IT admin limits, user will have freedom to move stuff between the KNOX workspace and the personal space. The other feature we support as part of KNOX platform is the two-factor authentication, wherein for the KNOX workspace, other than the traditional user authentication, what we have today is the PIN, password, and pattern. We do support wherein you have a two-factor authentication, wherein you can add additional authentication factor as a fingerprint, wherein then the KNOX workspace will have two-factor authentication. User needs to enter PIN as well as the fingerprint. We support two-factor authentication for KNOX workspace. The other feature we support is like we opened SD card access for the container like KNOX workspace apps. There are so many requirements, like there are a lot of enterprise customer requested us for this access. So from KNOX, like the latest version, we opened up SD card access for container apps. When it comes to giving access to SD card, we need to make sure that there is a potential data leakage possible from when a container apps is given access to SD card, it can be accessed by other apps as well. But we provide a secured external SD card access wherein IT admin also control as well. Like IT admin can whitelist some certain applications in the app which feels like it is not vulnerable. They can give access to SD cards to certain apps. The other feature that we recently introduced is the enterprise split billing. There are so many legislation going around the world. Like with the BIDE strategy wherein user is accessing the corporate data, there are so many legislation running around, like if user is accessing the corporate data, the company should pay for their data, that whatever they're using it for the corporate use. As part of KNOX platform, we support enterprise split billing, wherein IT admin can configure different access points, and they can configure the enterprise enabled assigned access point, and they can assign enterprise app to it, so that the data usage by the corporate apps and personal apps will be segregated separately, and so that whatever the corporate apps, the data usage, it can be billed separately. There are very high secure concerned enterprises like DoD, wherein they have their own smart card, which is like CAC, which is like common access card, wherein they store the PKI certificates in the smart card. As part of KNOX platform, we do support a generic framework wherein we can plug in any third-party CAC readers. So like we built a framework wherein any smart card vendors can be installed in our solutions, and IT admin will have an options to choose like the browser, email, wherever the certificate needed, like VPN, they can be using the credentials from the smart card. Also, we support two-factor authentication using smart card, wherein the user needs to enter the PIN and the CAC itself with the other factor for the authentication. The other important feature that we support is the full-fledged application management. We support end-to-end application management APIs, wherein today in the enterprise, they have their own app store, enterprise. So to have a full-end mobile application management solutions to build by MDM vendors, we do support a rich set of APIs wherein IT admin will have full access to the application that runs on the device. So we have APIs wherein IT admin can silently install the application or uninstall an application. We have APIs wherein IT admin can restrict the uninstallation and installation of an application. The installation restriction, like we do support in several ways, like you can restrict installation using package name or a signature or a permission. There is an interesting use case wherein like certain enterprises, they want to install only the apps that are signed by their enterprises. So we can use signature-based restriction wherein you can restrict the application installation to particular enterprise app store. We do support APIs wherein IT admin can disable and enable apps. As you know, like most of the devices like comes with a lot of preloaded apps. It may be good for the consumer use, but when a device is enrolled in an enterprise, certain apps IT admin may not want allowed user to use it. As part of KNOX platform, we support APIs wherein you have option to disable. It could be either a preloaded apps or it could be an app installed like downloaded apps. We do have APIs for IT admin to take control over when an application is launched and stopped. So wherein a lot of solution can be built on top of it, wherein IT admin have full control when an application is launched or when an application is stopped. As part of mobile application management solution, MDM vendors also should provide how the application being used on the device. So as part of, we do support APIs wherein you can have full usage metrics, like how many times like the service being used, like so many APIs we offer, wherein you will have full usage metrics. The other feature we support is the application permission control, wherein today, like when you install an application from the Android market, at install time, the application might request for 10 permissions, 10 different services with different permissions. Wherein option today there is no option for an user to like, for example, like I have 10 permissions, but I don't want the application to allow 2 permissions. So as part of KNOX platform, we support an API. User can still install at install time. It can get all the 10 permissions, but IT admin has a control wherein it can revoke certain permission. Which, for instance, it has 10 permissions, and you don't want that application to use Bluetooth services. There is an API in our platform wherein IT admin can disable the Wi-Fi service, Bluetooth services. The other interesting feature we support as part of KNOX platform is the Kiosk mode. As we discussed earlier, we support Kiosk mode in 2 ways. One is the KNOX Workspace itself will act as a kiosk, wherein the device boots in the Kiosk mode with the KNOX Workspace. Or the Kiosk mode can be enabled at the main user level as well. Coming to this solution, like the way how we build it in KNOX platform is we give full flexibility to the IT administrator. We don't want to restrict design ourselves how the kiosk mode should be. So we give full freedom to the IT admin and MDM developers to come up with their own solution by providing APIs wherein they can disable features. They can disable features like hardware keys or a status bar or setting changes. There are so many APIs available wherein IT admin can determine their own kiosk behavior. We are full flexible in KNOX platform. They can build their custom kiosk mode. And we do offer API wherein you can customize the whole home screen or you can change the application icons. There are a lot of APIs wherein you can have full-fledged real-time kiosk behavior. As part of KNOX platform, the other important feature we support is the remote configurations. Today, when you want to enroll a device in an enterprise, there are so many configurations that needs to be done. For instance, when you enroll in your device into to certain enterprises, you may need to configure. It could be a VPN or Wi-Fi or email. As part of KNOX platform, we provide APIs wherein you can configure email account without user intervention. So that IT admin can, as soon as device enrolled with the enterprise, they can remotely push in all the configurations. Like we support for email configurations, wherein they can configure Exchange account or LDAP account. We do offer API for email configuration is like locking down the particular user space with certain email accounts. For instance, like I created a KNOX Workspace, but I want to lock down to particular email accounts. So we offer API in KNOX platform wherein you can lock down your device to certain Exchange accounts. The other key feature is like Wi-Fi configuration, wherein in most of the enterprises, you need to configure Wi-Fi. As part of KNOX platform, we provide APIs wherein Wi-Fi can be configured remotely. It could be any security level Wi-Fi. It could be a PSK or it could be EAP TLS. So we offer API wherein you can configure any type of Wi-Fi that is supported on Android, Samsung, KNOX devices. We also support APIs wherein IT admin can manage restricting the Wi-Fi SSIDs, like wherein they can lock down the device with certain SSIDs. Also, we have APIs wherein IT admin can take over control over the Wi-Fi hotspots as well. There is other, like I'm not covering here, is the VPN. I'll provide you the session details where you will learn more about VPN, there are a lot of configuration, a lot of flexibility. Like VPN, we allow IPsec, OpenSSL, and Parap VPN. I'll provide the session details where you will get more information about the VPN configuration that we support in KNOX platform. As a part of KNOX platform, we do have a rich set of security management features that is available. Today, given that it could be a wired device or a corporate liable device, enterprises are more concerned about the data at rest or data in transit. They want the data to be more secured. This makes MDM vendors to build a better strategy for the security. As part of KNOX platform, we support APIs for either for data at rest or data in transit. For data at rest, we support ODE, on-device encryption, wherein the whole device data will be encrypted. We have enhanced the ODE feature with trusted boot, wherein today, when the whole device is encrypted, it is mounted as soon as the user is entering the password. We enhanced that feature so that it is integrated with our trusted boot feature, wherein if the device is compromised, then the user will not be allowed, the device will not allow to mount the file system, wherein other than user authentication, you just need the trusted boot as well. We integrated trusted boot with ODE. Also, we support external SD card encryption, wherein you can encrypt the external SD card as well. Coming to data and transit, we support VPN as well as firewall. Let's talk a little about firewall. As part of firewall policies, we allow IT admin to configure firewall rules. They can configure firewall rules, either it could be an allow rule or a deny. They can deny or allow any data packets, and we have APIs for them to configure rerouting as well, like proxy servers. When it comes to firewall rules, we support based on IP as well as this can be, they can configure either it could be a 3G data or a mobile Wi-Fi data. And we do offer, even IT admin can configure firewall such a way for app basis as well. It means like certain apps, like for example, you can reroute the browser traffic to a different IP address. We do support global proxy, wherein the entire device traffic will be diverted to the proxy server, like global proxy server, wherein it is applied to entire device. The global proxy is supported for both mobile data as well as the Wi-Fi data. Coming to there are the other feature we support is the certificate management, wherein today, when it comes to email or VPN or Wi-Fi, there are so many certificates involved. So as part of KNOX platform, we do support several features for the certificate management, wherein IT admin can install the certificate silently. Either it could be for VPN purpose or a Wi-Fi or an email. We support APIs, and also we support IT admin to manage the certificate, that CA certificates on the device. There are certificates by default preloaded on the device. So we even give opportunity for IT admin, even if it's preloaded, IT admin can put it in an untrusted list wherein user will not have access to the preloaded certificate as well. Also, we support revocation and OCSP, CRL check as well, wherein during SSL connection, it will check for revocation. The other, as part of KNOX platform, we support the advanced password management, wherein we can put more security. There are certain enterprises like DoD, wherein they want to put more password restrictions. As part of KNOX platform, we do provide APIs wherein they can put more restriction on the password, like putting a forbidden strings or using the regex Java patterns. Today in Android devices, for instance, like the email app, when email app requests the user to change password, the user can cancel the password change for that moment, and he can continue to use device. The only thing email app does is if user is not changing the password, they can stop syncing. But there are certain enterprises, they want user to change password without changing the password. They don't want to use the device or a KNOX workspace. So as part of KNOX platform, we support an API wherein user will be enforced to change password. Unless the user changes the password, he will not have access to the device or a KNOX workspace. The other thing we have in our KNOX platform is the hardware and software management, wherein today in enterprises, for instance, when I bring my device to my enterprise, inside the enterprise premises, I want to make sure the device behavior, there are certain use cases, certain enterprise, they want to block camera. Whenever I'm in office, they want to block camera, but when you are at home, you are free to use your camera. As part of KNOX platform, we do support wide like we have APIs wherein you can manage the whole hardware and the software services that runs in Samsung KNOX devices. We support APIs wherein you can block the hardware like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or SD card or NFC. Also, we support APIs to block, to disable the software services as well. Like it could be a screen capture or a camera or a tethering or background data. We support, there are so many services on device, and we do support. There might be so many use cases wherein enterprise want to block certain services. So we offer API wherein IT admin will have full control over the software and hardware services running on the device. Also, we support admin exclusivity, wherein like today when I enroll a corporate liable device, certain enterprises require that they don't want to any other admin to manage their device. So as part of KNOX platform, we do support APIs wherein we have admin exclusivity, wherein IT admin can block any installation of any other device admin, or if some admin app is already preloaded, then we do have API wherein you can block admin activation, so that IT admin can make sure that they are the only admin managing the devices. We also support the remote wiping feature, like wherein IT admin can block the factory reset, he can take over the factory reset of the device. Also, we support selective wipe, wherein IT admin can either wipe the whole, only the internal storage or external storage. There are certain inbuilt strategy wherein you may not want to wipe the whole device, but there could be, for example, you may use native email for email configuration, but you may want, when you decommissioning the device, you may want to wipe the email data. We do support API wherein you can do application data wipe instead of wiping the whole device. Today in enterprises, there are so many devices. Like when you say in an enterprise, employees can own like a desktop or a laptop or smartphones and tablets. When it comes to the desktop, today we have a real-time remote desktop sessions wherein IT admin can diagnose what's, like if something wrong with your laptop, they can diagnose remotely. So we need to bring this kind of experience in Samsung devices as well. As part of that, we support remote control feature wherein IT admin will have full access to the frame buffer of the screen of the devices and clipboard. And also they can inject key events and touch events wherein they can manage the device. With these features, you can really build a real-time remote desktop session solutions. Also, there are a lot of other features can be built like WebEx, wherein if you want to share a presentation from your tablet, we can build there is like WebEx kind of solution can be built on top of this feature. Actually, like KNOX, when it comes to KNOX SDK, it's a really vast. Since the limitation of time, I can cover only certain features. Please feel free to visit our KNOX portal, wherein you will get full details about like all the KNOX features we support, documentation and SDK. So you'll have more details about like what we really offer in KNOX SDK. These are the few sessions I want to introduce, like wherein you will get more information about, like there is a session after this in the same session room 1, where we will present about TIMA. Like TIMA is really, like as we discussed, like TIMA offers key store and client certificate manager, wherein the certificate can be managed from the trust zone. This TIMA feature can be advantaged by both the MDM vendors as well as the app developers. So we have a session at 4 o'clock wherein you will get more details about TIMA and what feature we offer in TIMA. There is 2 other sessions tomorrow where we will get more details about VPN. VPN is a really huge framework wherein we support a lot of configuration. We support IPsec, we support OpenSSL, and we support Parap VPN as well. Also, this session will cover in perspective of MDM vendor as well as VPN application developers also. And we have other session tomorrow on SSO wherein you will get more details about single sign-on and SE Android. Let me hand over to Peter. He will give more updates about the cloud solution that we offer as part of KNOX platform.
Thanks, Karthik. Yeah. All right, hi everybody. My name is Peter Havens, Director of Product Management at Centrify. And hopefully you were able to absorb all of those wonderful APIs. And I would say that of all the partners out there with Samsung, we're probably one of the ones that have used the most of these APIs. We've used quite a number of the things that were talked about today. So I know it's a couple hours after lunch. Everybody's probably in the food coma. So just real quick, make you move your hands around and get a little blood flow. just a quick show of hands, how many of you are actually using the KNOX APIs today, either in a partner application of some sort or planning to use them? Okay, good portion of you. And then the rest, how many of you are maybe part of an enterprise organization that's using KNOX today and here to learn more about what the platform can do? Okay, so mostly from the developer side. Cool, I just wanted to know who I'm speaking to. So as I mentioned, I've been using the Samsung KNOX, or as they previously were called, Safe APIs, in a number of different products for quite a number of years. So I've watched the evolution of those for quite some time, and I've been involved in the MDM, enterprise mobility management space, for the past 4 or 5 years. And so I'm intimately familiar with a lot of the capabilities that you can do with KNOX and with the Samsung SDK. We work very closely with Samsung to help partner in introducing new capabilities for those APIs and leveraging our own platform. So what we're all about identity as a service. So identity and access management. Centrify provides a solution for ridding the world of the problems that we all face with security related to passwords. So we've all heard lots of concern around passwords in the last year or several years around phishing for passwords, the insecure reuse of passwords. It's become a real problem both in the consumer space and in the enterprise. It's even more important in the enterprise. Bad practices of password use can lead to corporate data loss very quickly. So we're in the business of ridding the world of the dependency on passwords, specifically in the enterprise. Introducing SAML as a method of secure authentication to enterprise applications. And we do that in such a way that, if you've got a secure mobile device, we give you what we call a zero sign-on experience to enterprise applications. We do enterprise mobility management as a part of our Centrify user suite service, because if we're going to give SSO, kind of single sign-on, it would be very irresponsible to do so on a device that could easily be lost, stolen, or hacked into. So we take advantage of a large number of these Samsung APIs to make sure that the enterprise organization can lock down the device, ensure their policies on the device before they give the end users a nice single sign-on experience to the business applications. So as I said, we leverage quite a number of the APIs to do so, including the KNOX Workspace containers for creating a secure enterprise environment. So we see mobile as the kind of the new de facto way of accessing, especially SaaS applications. If your enterprise organization or the company you're with is using services like Salesforce or Box or Concur for expense reporting or TripIt for travel or whatever the case may be, all of these services traditionally have their own method for accessing or managing user accounts. So what we do is centralize all of that on the corporate identity, which is for the most part usually Active Directory. And we see that a large number of people are using their mobile devices for accessing these services as the primary method of getting access to that. So we provide a method for securing that, and we do so across all of the different mobile environments. But what we found is we can really do a much better job, given the APIs that Samsung has presented, with a Samsung platform. And what we find to be true in both the company I'm working for now and the previous MDM company I worked for is that the notion of BYOD doesn't really exist in the enterprise. Everybody says every company. I've seen all these statistics lately around how BYOD adoption is around 80%. I would say it's near zero, actually. It's actually more of a CYOD, choose your own device. Corporate IT will say what devices are supported, and you can choose one of those. You can't just choose any device. And in the enterprise, when it comes to Android, the de facto standard has been Samsung, and is becoming more so now with the focus on KNOX and the ultra security that they've built into that platform. So kudos to Samsung and all the work they've done to bring a viable, secure solution to the market in the Android space. So just a little bit more about what we do, and if you guys have any questions, just given my history and the experience I've had with the Samsung KNOX SDK, feel free to shoot them, and I'm sure between myself and Karthik we can answer. But our service is all about, as I mentioned before, providing SaaS. We call it SaaS management. SaaS is software as a service, so management of software solutions that are provided in the cloud, such as Box, Salesforce, anything else, and giving you that single sign-on experience to those services. More than just single sign-on, we do some pretty cool stuff. So if you're using our platform, which is a cloud-based platform, which provides solutions both for mobile and for traditional desktop endpoints such as PC and laptop, we can also provision accounts for that. So as a new user comes into your organization, comes in on the first day, you can add him to a role within your corporate directory, likely Active Directory, put him in a group, And we will automatically provision accounts for that user in the different SaaS services out there, that Box, Office 365, Concur, Salesforce. So as they come into the organization, you just drop them in the right role, and we can assign applications to roles, which are based on Active Directory groups. And without doing anything, the user accounts are automatically created for that user and tied back to the single source of identity, which is Active Directory for the most case. We also have our own cloud-based directory, which is why we have the point there on hybrid identity. Don't know if the laser pointer works on this, but right there. So you can use a combination of both Active Directory, or for users that are not in Active Directory, you can use the Centrify Cloud directory for those users. And we have a number of policies which we can also assign to those groups, both in the Cloud Directory and in Active Directory, which allow us to customize the experience, the security profiles for the devices that those users are connecting. And as I mentioned before, all of that is built in conjunction with an enterprise mobility management platform, which we feel is a necessity. It's kind of a commodity or a necessity that needs to be included in that identity and access management service. As I mentioned before, it would be irresponsible to give your employees single sign-on on a device that they could take onto a bus and leave and have no password on, and then anybody could grab that device and get single sign-on to all of their, not just email, but to their Salesforce accounts and everything else. So we build kind of an advanced, we build both a single sign-on experience to make it easy for applications that you may not be too concerned about, as well as a multi-step or multi-factor authentication experience where for certain applications we can actually require or allow the admin to require more factors in order to get access to that application, either a phone call, an SMS, or the actual Centrify app on the protected mobile device, which will act as a second factor of authentication. We continue to introduce more and more methods of authentication, which are available to the administrator depending on the type of resource he's trying to protect. So that's what we're all about. We're identity and access management built on top of a full-featured enterprise mobility management solution, and leverage very heavily the KNOX APIs to ensure the right policies and security posture for the device that we're doing that on the Samsung side. So we're all about, we have robust app support. We support the apps both in the cloud. So if you're connecting to these SaaS applications via web browser, you can do that via username password wallet that we support. So if the application doesn't support SAML and token-based authentication, we can actually create a password wallet, much like you would see in the consumer space with a 1Password or LastPass, but it's a corporate-based cloud secure password wallet. We support over 2,500 apps in our app catalog, and we have the ability to integrate with any other app to kind of capture the login and authentication experience for any other SaaS application. In addition to web applications, we have built into the Samsung KNOX platform native app single sign-on, so that an application does not have to query the user for their username and their identity and their password. They can simply query the operating system, the base Samsung KNOX operating system, and say, is there a single sign-on user for this application? And the operating system, in conjunction with our implementation, will identify whether or not the user is enrolled in our service and taking advantage of single sign-on. And on behalf of our application, we'll respond with the appropriate SAML token for that application. So we have Box that's integrated with this and a number of other vendors that are actually, instead of asking the user if they can enter in their username and password, asking the operating system if the user has enrolled in an SSO exchange, and if so, allowing the operating system to respond with the appropriate tokens and credentials to give them single sign-on to that application. Very cool experience. Very, very easy to integrate with Samsung's APIs to take advantage of that SSO experience. So if you have an application, an enterprise application, and are looking to give a stronger, more secure means of authenticating, that would be a means to go about it. So as I mentioned before, we've heavily leveraged the Samsung KNOX APIs to provide this enterprise mobility management and identity and access management and single sign-on experience for our application. It's been a great experience for us and a great learning experience as well. And our solution leverages heavily, as I mentioned before, Active Directory and also our cloud-based solution for doing role-based access management. So we can actually divvy up who gets access to which applications and has which rights based on the roles that they have within the organization as they're defined in Active Directory. I'll just highlight one more time here that you can easily integrate with Samsung's SSO on the KNOX platform using their KNOX SDK. If you're already using it, look for the SSO APIs, and that will allow you to integrate directly with our SSO SDK for doing native app single sign-on. That's all I had to say, Karthik. Back to you.
Sure. So thank you. So please let us know if you have any questions. I know it will be a short time. I'll be available in the Hackers launch, where if you have more questions, you can meet me there. Like I'll be available until 6 o'clock. So you can have any question, you can meet me there. Like if you have any questions, you can. I think it's.
What is your relationship right now, Centrify, with the FIDO Alliance protocols for universal authentication framework?
Like,
So I can take it one or you can.
Yeah.
But there's no specific relationship with us and Samsung as it relates to FIDO that I'm aware of. I'm not sure if there's something that particular that you're going after there, but there's no.
Well, is a group of companies, Qualcomm,
Mm-hmm.
building out essentially a framework to authentication.
Right.
There's so many different ways to do it.
There are a number of initiatives underway. There's also NAPS, the Native Apps Working Group that's also looking at a standard for doing enterprise single sign-on for applications. There's FIDO. There are a number of things that are currently underway. Centrify is currently involved in the NAPS initiative to provide a standards-based mechanism for doing single sign-on or token-based auth for enterprise applications. We are not currently engaged in the FIDO Alliance in that effort.
Like, no, I'm just not clear with your question. Can you please repeat your question? Sorry.
Yes, the FIDO Alliance has many companies that are trying to push forward a standard API for doing authentication.
Okay.
And so with all these different standards out there, they're simply trying to bring some order to the chaos. And my question is Samsung going to utilize some of those, quote, standardized protocols for authentication?
You mean like, I'm not pretty sure about that. Probably like, we have a separate SSO session wherein SSO engineer will be presenting. Probably you can talk to them. I'm not sure about that.
There is Samsung is part of that Factor Alliance. There is a booth out over there from someone from Saas SDK. Here they showed that they're integrated with Samsung. So it's part of that alliance.
Yeah.
I'm just over there. My name is Yogi.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that because I'm not aware of that. Like,
No, it's a big topic.
Yeah, it is.
I don't expect you to know everything.
yeah.
It's not labs. Well, not I know you guys like certain. Yeah, I'm not from there. I just happened to stop at the booth. Okay.
Other questions? All right.
Okay. Yeah, as I told, like I'll be available in Hackers booth until 6 p.m. If you have any questions like how to integrate with KNOX SDK or any issues with the KNOX platform, or if you want to know more about KNOX platform, please feel free to stop by Hackers Launch. I can answer any question on KNOX platform. Thank you.